All right. Oh, hi, everybody. Oh, hey.
Sorry. Oh my God, I thought you
Everybody. And this is to you.
Here, I'm gonna move your bag. Oh, she's trying to sit there. Is your bag here? Yes, okay. I just your bag here. She's not making it. Becky gets a lot, man. I'll get up there and be like,
This is when you're great. Good job, but you're
hey. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I figured I'm eating with okay, well, she has no power. But she has made her 16. Yeah, we are going. She was so I
No worries. All right, we'll hope for the best.
That's the thing I thought. Okay. And maybe it's not much. Yeah, but I need to go.
That's not an issue.
Do you have a meeting?
Did you want me to start? It's already.
Oh, really?
Well, she's gonna try. Oh, you're gonna play. Well, Nicholas is now.
Not yet. Matt seems to think.
I volunteered, Bobby and I, we're hosting a church on Wednesday for boys and girls, underclassmen, every Wednesday. So everyone should come now. Sorry, everyone should come. So we just, I committed. So maybe it's gonna be. No, she's in private.
You can try it.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So thank you all so much for coming. We have a really big meeting set U-shaped here, so I was thinking it was gonna be theater style, but this is lovely. They really did a really nice job for us here, so thank you, Mom, for helping me set up the room and everything. I really appreciate it. Thanks you guys for coming. I'm super excited because we are super blessed. At least I think so, to have Nancy and Natalie here. Nancy is the wife of my cousin, and they're out of Austin, and her sister is out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. So for them to travel all the way up here to do a presentation for me and my team and their team too, extension of their teams, is really wonderful. So we're super excited to have them, and their wealth of knowledge is phenomenal. The team we're on is 33,000 strong, and that means Natalie is one of 15 in the top, like 15 architects, I think, that we have, and she's done it in less than 2 years, which is pretty amazing. So So I know, right? Yay. Nancy's only just shortly behind her, and she just got her new little trophy out in the parking lot out front. So if you see really wonderful white Lexus out there, that would be Nancy's. So you guys can grovel over that because I'm excited to get there. So I'm going to pass it over to them. And I don't think we're going to do the video because it's really acting up. So I'm sorry, you guys. The video is online on YouTube if you guys do ever want to look at it. It's the two doctors kind of presenting a little bit about the business. But for the most part, they're really going to cover everything. So they're here anyway in person, right? We'll let the doctors just kind of have their name and we'll let them talk. So if you'll help me welcome, I think Nancy's going to talk first. So thanks, you guys.
Well, it's really exciting to be here with you guys. We love that this business is a virtual business and we can really do it from anywhere, from Wi-Fi connection. We often Skype into events, but it's always more fun to be here in person, especially like what Liz says, when you get to take out a new Lexus and drive up here. And especially, I love coming to Iowa. My husband, like Liz says, is from Iowa, so we always love being able to visit. He's actually a alumni of Iowa State, so he's actually a little bit jealous that I'm here and he's not. So, so a little bit more about me. I live in Austin, Texas, and like Liz said, and JR, my husband, is a small business owner. He owns a design firm downtown. They do brand strategy and marketing for natural and organic food brands mostly. And then I'm a stay-at-home mom of our 3 little boys, which are 5, 3.5, and 2. So life is pretty crazy and busy, but I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, so I absolutely love it. I'm also a Premier Level 5, like Elizabeth said, a new Lexus Achiever. Our team is in our 3rd month of Lexus qualification. We're just blowing the numbers out of the water. It's incredible. I'm so thankful to be a part of this company that rewards us just time and time again. So my Rodan and Fields journey, though, really started with brown spots, and specifically melasma. I don't know if you guys are familiar with melasma and the hyperpigmentation that's kind of caused by pregnancy mostly, but hormones in general. And then the sun really makes it worse. So, throughout my 3 pregnancies, it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And I was really getting pretty, sick of it. And I remember looking back at this picture of holding my new little son, my middle child. He's a summer baby. And I was holding him in the hospital. And I felt good about myself. Like my hair was done, my nails were done, I had lip gloss on. I was feeling okay, right? As best as can be expected. And I looked at that picture of me holding that precious little baby, and all I can see is brown on my face. It's just covered in all this brown. And I'm just like, this is kind of sad because it kind of tainted that moment for me. And I think this is true of a lot of people with their skin, because whether it's acne or sensitive skin, or you have a wrinkle you really hate, or like me with brown, dullness, hyperpigmentation, it affects your daily life. And for a lot of people that I now meet being in this business, it actually affects whether they go places. They're caking on foundation, they're caking on the concealer, and there are a lot of times people are hiding behind a mask, and it affects their self-esteem many times in great ways. And even teenagers, of course, I'm sure we all know somebody. Not to name somebody, Ziggy, like they told me to, whose daughter struggles with acne. And it is really something that affects people's lives. So that's what was happening to me with my melasma. And so I was bound to but I knew who the Proactiv doctors were. And I trusted them because I had used Proactiv as a team and it worked for me when nothing else would. So I had that brand recognition that I knew who those doctors were, and I trusted that they made good products, and I knew they were still around. So almost got lost at word reverse. So I heard about the reverse regimen and I was thrilled. I was excited. And our AMP roller, which increases your results by 50 times. And we're going to go over the products towards the end, so you can hear more about that guy, which I actually call my BFF now because it's incredible. But the reverse regimen is for the dullness, the hyperpigmentation, uneven skin tone. So I ordered those products and I started using them. And about 2 weeks into my new skincare routine, I was on FaceTime with my sister. We're best friends. We live in 2 different states. We're on FaceTime all the time. And we're just chatting, and she's like, all of a sudden, she's like, what's going on with your skin? You look like you have she just said, what's going on with your face? And I thought, what in the world do you mean what's going on with my face? I have a new baby, I'm sick and tired, I'm dehydrated, like trying to make it dry. And she's like, no, it looks like you have a light on your face, like your skin is glowing. And I thought, my skin is glowing? That's certainly something new, and no one has ever told me that. So I kind of then realized it must be my new skincare routine. And she was a little irritated at first because I hadn't actually told her about this new skincare routine I was using. And she also was suffering from melasma. But what she didn't tell me at the time is that she was actually doing what we now call secret research, because she had a friend posting on Facebook talking about the unblemished regimen. I think she was in her like mid to late 30s, had cystic acne come on, but she was loving the unblemished regimen, transformed her skin, and she was a consultant with Rodan and Fields and was redecorating her daughter's room in pottery barn. And I was like, what is going on? But she saw proactive doctors and partnering with regular people, and that really made her start researching. So about a month after that FaceTime conversation, she calls me up and she's like, well, Mom and I are becoming and we're involved in our community and our church, like none of us needed something else to do. And like I mentioned, we're not salespeople. So it wasn't something I ever expected her to say, but she proceeded to tell me all about her research and how Harvard Business School had done a review on our business model, our compensation plan. They'd actually deemed this an opportunity of a lifetime because we're a debt-free company. We have a consumable product, and at the time we had less than 100,000 consultants. Now we have around 150,000. So we're still super tiny. So she's like, it's just one of those things. She said, we can do it from a Wi-Fi connection and we can partner with those doctors. How can I pass this up? So I thought that sounded pretty cool, but honestly, I still had reservations because I didn't want to carry inventory. I didn't want to have to ship product. I didn't want to have sell minimums or party requirements. That was just never going to be my thing. And I know some people really enjoy that kind of stuff, but that was not going to be me, nor did I have time for it. So she was happy to tell me that I didn't have to do any of those things. Corporate fulfills all orders, shipping goes through them. There are no party requirements. Events like this are by choice because they're a lot of fun. And there aren't sell minimums. So our company is incentive-based. When she told me that, I was like, well, I really like incentives. So they have incredible incentives with this company. You know, obviously we're both driving luxury vehicles at this point, but that was 2 years in the making. That didn't happen overnight. But all along the way, they have wonderful incentives that you can earn in addition to your extremely generous paycheck. So at this point, I won a luxury bag, jewelry. You can win an Apple Watch, trip to Napa Valley, which I get to take my husband to, all expense paid trips. So pretty incredible stuff. So I was like, okay, well, I'm kind of running out of reasons not to do it because it sounds pretty amazing. So I went to tell my husband the good news, and he was less than thrilled because I would say he might be someone you call a super skeptic. So he was like, oh, no, you're not doing one of those pyramid schemes. That's not happening. And I was like, I didn't know much at the time, but kind of my gut, or maybe I was just feeling a little sassy. And now I was kind of feeling like I want to do it more because you told me I couldn't. And I was like, oh no, the proactive doctors don't do pyramid schemes, and like flipped my hair or something like that. I don't know. But I was right. My gut was right. It's absolutely, they have way too much on the line, too much credibility, decades of success and a reputation to ever put that in jeopardy. They've done their due diligence, they've done their research, and this model fits them perfectly because it allows them to put word of mouth to work. And when they were in those high-end retail spaces like Nordstrom, they were the #1 clinical brand. But what they found is that they were acquiring new customers through word of mouth, not through all the money that was spent to be in those stores. So direct sales actually makes perfect sense for them. And it is an incredible business model to really bring dermatology to the masses and to create individual wealth for families. And that is what they're doing. So I became a consultant also because my sister was like, well, you can get a 25% off discount instead of a 10% discount. And I don't have any of those requirements. So I thought, well, for the first time ever, I could let skincare pay me and I could get the best discount. What do I really have to lose? So I became a consultant and I started sharing naturally, whether it was on Facebook or just talking to people in person. And I remember after my first week in business, they paid me like 81 bucks. And then the next month I made like 450 bucks and continued to grow from there. And I really, honestly, you guys, I thought, why are they paying me this? Like, this is something I would do anyways. This is crazy. So that really got me thinking. The other thing that got me thinking about maybe changing this into something I just kind of fell into, to maybe an actual business, is that we have private Facebook pages online. And the leaders that have been successful before us, they tell us what they did to be successful, how they did it. And so I was listening to regular people like me that are normal people that have never been in sales, never been in direct sales for the most part. And they were shrinking 30-year careers into 3 to 5 years. And it really shocked me. I didn't think it was possible. That was never even on the horizon for me. And I just thought, this is incredible. We have something special. And so that made me want to look into it a little bit more. And so what I did is I wanted to understand who these doctors really are. I knew who they were, but I didn't really know who they are. So these doctors are Stanford trained, Dr. Katie Rodan and Dr. Kathy Fields. They're Stanford trained. They're still clinically practicing in the Bay Area. They have 50 plus years of combined clinical experience between the two of them. And they're actually best friends. Not only that, if that wasn't enough, they have already built $1 billion brand with Proactive. It's in over 100 countries, and they literally dominate the global acne market to this day, owning over 83% of it. That is insane that they're asking people like me and you to partner with them, and when they've already done that. And they are now setting out to do the same thing and dominate the anti-aging market, but the anti-aging market is like $250 billion in 2014. And so that's a much bigger market. And we're already proving that we're going to do just that, because we are just now the #1 anti-aging skincare brand in the US. We're #1. And we are the 2nd premium skincare brand in the US, so only behind Clinique. So we've already passed Lancome and Estee Lauder, which is pretty incredible. Clinique has decades on us. But guess what? None of those people are offering us to partner with them. The best you can do with those brands is to get a job at the glass counter. That's the best you can do. The other cool thing about that is that we don't spend one dime in advertising, none. But we are in every top beauty magazine, from Vogue to Allure to Town & Country. We've been on Ellen, Oprah. We've been featured in Forbes magazine for our business and our CEO. So we're all over the place, but we don't have to pay a dime in advertising. Guess where that money goes? Because other companies like that are spending 65% of their budget, millions and millions of dollars, on advertising. But guess where that money goes? In our pockets. People like me and you. It goes to us, and it goes to superior products. Because guess what? We are the advertising. We're the walking, talking billboards. And like I said, they're putting word of mouth to work. And we all understand the way social media is happening, e-commerce, businesses are moving online. I think it's actually the first year, this past year, that Black Friday, they did more business online, companies as a whole, than they actually did in the stores. So that is the way businesses are moving. The other thing that really struck me is that when I compared it to what my husband had built with his conventional business, there is no comparison, because he started that business with $100,000+ of outside investments to get the doors open, and I started my business for less than $1,000. He has to work 60 to 80 hours a week, time away from his family, and I get to work this business around my family's busy schedule. That doesn't include the stress that goes into owning a conventional business, and his income potential, although it's a blessing to be able to stay at home, there is a limit on it. And anytime you have a single income household, you always take sacrifices because of that. Well, with Rodan and Fields, I literally have a limitless income potential. It can be whatever I want it to be. It can be $500 extra a month, or it can be multiple $1,000s a month. There are people on our team that are making 3-digit, 4-digit, 5-digit, and even 6-digit salaries a month. That's what's happening in our company. So, and for me, now those stories that I heard when I first started, this past 2 years, I've built around my family schedule. It grew naturally with my life, how I wanted it to, because I'm my own CEO. And I've been able to build a residual income from home that will be in the 5 digits monthly in the next month or so, next couple of months from home, which is incredible. And it has transformed our lives. So in Rodan and Fields, we say a lot of times, changing skin, changing lives. We thought it was super cheesy when we first started, like really changing skin, changing lives. But it's true, because when you change someone's skin, you change their lives. And when you change someone's finances, you change their life. So I cannot tell you what it means to me and my family to look at my husband and see the stress come off his shoulders, that he's not the sole provider anymore, and to really see him dream again, and that he's not bearing this burden, even though he happily did it. And it makes me emotional, just because it was something I never thought in a million years I could do as a stay-at-home mom, ever. I thought I'd have to give one and the fact I've been in full-time I did in the previous years before that. that is life-changing. And me, just my family personally, we're able to give more in ways that we've always wanted to be able to, but haven't been able to. And this happens all over my team now, guys, that people are literally doing everything from paying off debt to putting food on the table, to quitting, second jobs, to being around their family more, taking more vacations, or whatever it is that this extra income means for them. So this is certainly something that I never saw myself doing. I didn't even know that I could do. And actually, after I get through the beginning, like nerves, I say at the end so it doesn't freak me out, but I'm actually really shy by nature, and speaking in front of people is not really my thing. It kind of makes me want to like bolt for the door. But it's something that this business is so worth kind of growing and having these like stepping outside of your comfort zone, because there's so many things I've been able to do with this business that I honestly didn't think that I could do. And I'm a better person for it. And I just am so thankful for this business that I didn't see coming, that basically fell into my lap, and that my sister Natalie made me do.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and let her come up. And just to kind of clarify, I know Elizabeth told our levels, but RFX is the very top of our company. So it's an impressive achievement, and she's definitely my role model and inspiration in this business. So, and we get to do it together, which is so much fun.
Just have to go after that. Well, a couple things I want to explain really quickly is, one is, I always tell people, so I don't want to panic out in the audience, but I turn red often when I talk, and I think people start thinking, is she going to pass out? I may not, but if I do, this is just me. That's just what I do. It doesn't mean anything. Anyway, second thing I want to say is that when she says she's shy, people sometimes now are like, she's not shy. And I was like, oh yeah, this girl was painfully shy. She never talked. I always talked for her. And even when she would get in high school, people that we would meet for the first time, they would ask her, what's your name? She would stand kind of behind me, and I'd be looking for her. I said I would never do this. And I have found that a lot of companies put you in cars in 2.5 seconds, almost like a gimmick, almost like a way to woo people, like, oh, she got her car. But it's way before you're in the business that's actually sustainable. So a lot of those companies, I won't name, people lose their cars because their business isn't even stable enough to keep it. And once that business drops back, you have to pay for it, not in Rodan and Build. When you build Alexa's volume and our team, is a big deal, and you are so stable, you would almost have to sabotage your business for it to go back down. And so that's what we've even seen in our business, 20% growth every month after Alexa's volume. And it is $125,000 in team volume per month. And as compared to 12,500 for some companies, or 40,000. You're just not stable enough. In our business, it isn't about wooing you. It isn't a gimmick. This is a business. They want you to build something that is so sustainable that you make way more than what could pay that car payment, and that you're set for long-term success, because this is a legacy company that will be here in 100 years, and you can build to your children. And I love, love, love that about our company, that it's about long-term success, not this overnight, giving to somebody. So with that being said, I'd like to explain that. I'm going to explain a little bit about myself. Like she said, my name is Natalie Heinrich, and his sister's all mine. And we grew up in Arkansas, and now I do live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been married for about 7 years, and I have twin boys that are 2.5, almost 3. That went by fast. My husband and I actually started to try to get pregnant. I used to want 10 kids. I don't want 10 anymore. I want 6.
They're always telling me to have more kids, and I'm like, easy. People think I'm crazy, but anyway, I have twin boys that are almost 3. But we started trying to get pregnant immediately, and that didn't happen. It wasn't in God's plan. So we started had surgeries, IVFs, IUIs, and our 3rd round of IVF, and almost 5 years into infertility treatments, we got pregnant with Hugh and Harry. And we had those baby boys. And sometimes, I think often, when you have to struggle so hard to get something, you appreciate the good, the bad, and the ugly that much more. So for that, I'm very grateful. And I share that because, first of all, infertility is very expensive. It is pricey. My education to be a PA, I was a physician assistant for a decade. I say was because I retired. That education was very expensive. It's well over 6 figures. My parents are in ministry. They have the best parents in the world, but they could not pay for me to go to school. And so I took out loans. You know, you don't think much about them when you're going through it. You think, oh, I'll just pay that back. It's a good way to make a living. But it actually is a lot harder to pay them back. And so I was really at a dilemma when those babies came, because I knew we had loans to pay back, but I also knew that I was been given these 2 little gifts, and I may not get my 6 kids. I may have 2. And I may never, ever get to do this again. And I struggled so hard, went through so much pain to get there. So I decided to stay working part-time and to be home with those babies, and Sally Mae was going to have to wait. Now, she still calls it full-time payment. She don't care if you're working part-time. She wants a full-time payment. I'm like, oh, it's like a second mortgage. It's crazy. So, but that's a sacrifice, because those babies grow up and the time is passing. You all know that. Everyone knows that time only gets faster. And the time you have with your loved ones, we're working all the time for the people we love, away from the people we love. That is the way of the world. And so I didn't think there was another way. I mean, it just is what it is. My husband's a small business owner, works a ton, lots of stress. I don't think anyone in here owns their own business. You know all the headaches that go along with it. Is there positives? Yes, but everything is on you. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Everything. And that's a lot of stress. And so my husband and I would sometimes be on vacation and be joking, like, who are those weirdos that get to work? We might not even use the word weirdo, but who are those people that work from their phone, truly work from their phone? It's so rare, it's a fairy tale. So I will never forget, the twins were 8 months old. I was scrolling on Facebook, and I was pumping. That's what I did. You gotta do something, right? And I was on Facebook. Something every one of us in here most likely do multiple times a day. We get on Facebook, okay? And one of my friends from church, who I don't see on a regular basis whatsoever, we see it at each other at church. We live completely separate lives in 2 different cities. And I say that because, once again, social media connects us much faster to people that we actually are not in our network, our everyday network. She posted on Facebook a couple things about some money she had already made in her new business, which intrigued me. But when she made a post that said, I have partnered with the doctors that have created Proactive. They're paying people like us. I went, say what? I stopped dead in my pump. And I was like, what is this? Because I know the Proactive name. I did not know Rodan, never heard of it, never seen these products, but I knew the name Proactive. I knew that it was still dominating. I mean, it's still front and center with Adam Levine. I mean, it just, every top celebrity's getting on their commercials if they had acne. And so I knew the credibility of these doctors, and I thought, what in the world is this? Is this like a dream? So I started doing my crazy secret research. When I say research, I just couldn't think about it for 8 weeks. I found everything I could find to talk about it. And so that's how I heard about it. And so the things that were keeping me from not doing it, the second I heard about it, were a few things. One, I had 8-month-old twins, and I was working. How was I going to have time to do a business? I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't even know how I would even grow a business. Okay, so that was my first thing. The second thing was that I hate selling. I mean, I worked at the Buckle for 2 weeks, and there's a reason. They want you to, you know, when I say the Buckle, it's so funny. Everyone knows what I mean. You work there, I'm sorry. You should be doing RF. You're really good at sales. They would tell me to take these outfits and stuff to people. If someone comes in for a belt, they're like, shove the shoes. And I'm like, they don't want shoes. They're like, but they might. I was like, I don't even ask for one. So I was like, I can't do this. I hate pushing buttons on people. So I said, I'm not a salesperson. Now, the other thing was that I didn't know anyone. And so I lived in Tulsa. Actually, at that time, only about, I don't know, if it was 4 or 5 years, but I didn't grow up there. I didn't go to school there. So you don't have these long-term roots of people. So it was very new friends there. The other thing is that I had actually been actively diminishing my network. Because when you go through infertility or something really hard, sometimes you just want to close in on just a few people. You can't handle the emotional. It's just too taxing. That's what I had done. I was like, you think I want to go on networking and decrease? And so all those things, I just thought, none of it adds up. It doesn't make sense. And so, but I couldn't get out of my head that these doctors, who are world-renowned dermatologists, top dermatologists in the world, and being in medicine, I knew the credibility they built. I knew that they had 50+ years of clinical experience in an office. They were still practicing dermatologists, and I know Nancy probably said that, but they were practicing dermatologists in Southern California. They're clinical professors at Stanford, okay? The women know what they're doing, not only in business, but in practice. So no one can recreate clinical experience for 50 years. You can go in the lab and research and come up with stuff you want, but the clinical experience trumps the textbook every day of the week, and we know that as clinicians. So that kind of expertise you cannot buy. It takes time. And so I knew that. I knew that they didn't make products that don't work. I know that Proactive is clinically proven to work, to do what it says, and if not, you get your money back. I write you a prescription as a PA, If you don't like it, if you go to your dermatologist and you spend $150 on a tube of Tazarac, you don't like it, that's just tough. You don't get your money back. We have a 60-day money-back guarantee. So I knew the credibility of our doctors, and I kept thinking, okay, if they've done it before, they most likely could do it again. See, I don't have to, that trust was there. I am actually, I don't know if I'm a super skeptic like him, but I'm very skeptical when it comes to stuff like this. My husband sees the glass 90% full, and I'm always like, well, let's get real here. But in reality, I was running out of why would I not do it? Okay, for me, it's more of a risk-averse thing. So what was I gonna lose if I started it? One is that I was gonna lose brown spots. Most likely, I had horrific brown spots. I had the mustache. Nancy didn't tell you about her lovely mustache. We both had it going on. I had a reverse raccoon and the continent of Asia, Russia, whatever you want to call it, all on my forehead. It was so bad that my dad, I could see him looking at my forehead. He doesn't notice things like that. I'd be at work and the physicians would be looking at my eyes, not my forehead, and not my eyes, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm right here. One summer, my mom licked my forehead. And it was the summer before RF, and I was like, Mom, and we were in a dark restaurant. How could she see this? And I was like, that is not dirt. She's like, oh. I was like, so I knew that I was really gonna have to do what she was saying, but I wasn't to the point. I was like, I'm not going to the dermatologist. I have to get a babysitter. I have to have PTO, time off work. I don't have time for downtime. And so I also thought, if there's people like me who aren't willing to even spend the money and go to the doctor, there has to be tons of other people like that. If there's people like me who said, I'll never do this business, there has to be other people like me who are thinking about it because of the name brand recognition. For me, it was because the world already knows this brand. One of the most difficult things in a business building is brand recognition. Your name, the trust, credibility was already done. I like stuff that just seems like easier. And so I just sat up one morning and I thought of all the reasons why I shouldn't do it, but in reality, what do I have to lose? Brown spots? I'm going to get a tax write-off. But what if I watch my friend and I say no, and I watch her build a business for a year? Will I regret it if this is as big as I think it's going to be? And the answer is yes, because I had nothing to lose. And so I started, and I've never looked back. And I'm so shocked at all the things that I told you, the reasons I thought I shouldn't do it. I've actually found the complete opposite. Too busy. I was already on Facebook. Now Facebook pays me. I was already doing some of these things every single day, and now I'm just getting paid to do them because it fits into your life how you want it. You'll be surprised that how we build our business is typically things you're already doing, because every one of you are talking to people with skin every day. I mean, unless you only live with animals and never see another human, maybe you're not. But most of us are talking to people with skin every single day. And every person I know has something they hate about their skin or something they don't like about their time freedom and financial freedom. And we have a fix for every one of those. And so I started talking. I didn't know what I was doing. I started talking. I didn't even know what I was doing. And so I had never also tried, seen, or touched these products. He wasn't in the state. Yeah. And so my point in telling you that, so then people think their next thing is, oh, you must know a lot of people. And I'm like, no, I don't. I told 3.5% of those people. Because those people told people who told people. When we opened Canada, I thought, dang it, I don't know any Canadians. And it doesn't matter because I happen to know someone who knew someone, and now we have a team in Canada.
she didn't tell the part about we were on a cruise with RF and this lady taps us on the shoulder in the elevator and says, "You with that speaker company?" And we said, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, I'm from Canada and I'm going to do that." We were like, "What?" And so she literally signed up that day and has literally blown it out of the water in her area because none of them have heard of it. She's crazy. She's crazy. And we didn't know her. We didn't even know her. So when people say I don't know anyone, I'm like, huh, you don't even know who you know, past, present, future. You don't even know what's going to happen. The thing is, you just do and share. So it's just crazy how it started happening. And coming this fall, I'll have a team in Australia. I don't know anyone in Australia, but my team does. People know people everywhere. And that's the beautiful thing about the word of mouth. This is the wave of the future. Companies are all on social media. Why? Because we care about our friends' recommendation. We don't care about the commercials anymore. We all distrust the commercial, but we do trust our friends. And a good example is I wanted a new eye doctor. I went on Facebook, I asked about an eye doctor. I had 3 friends answer. I picked one of them, went and loved it. And I trusted them more than going to an ad. And that's all of us. And so, and now do all those 1,000 people, a lot of them are here just for the discount. But there's a good handful of us who are really wanting to make life-changing income, and that is happening all over our team with introverts, extroverts, career people, stay-at-home moms, people with no education, lots of education. The list goes on. Men, women, doesn't matter. It's just people who are willing. And I say this a lot, Rodan Fields is not for the few, because often companies, it's a few at the top that are making money, and no one else can really do that. In our company, you could start tomorrow and actually pass the people above you, and it's happening all over just our team alone. And that is truly, truly incredible that it doesn't matter. Rodan Fields is not for the few, it's for the willing. And so this company has completely transformed our future and our life, not just financially, with time freedom. And so we talk about the finances a lot because everyone wants time freedom, but we have to talk about the financial part, because without financial freedom, you can't have time freedom. Someone's got to pay for your time, unless you're going to be homeless. I mean, that's just facts. Life is expensive, paying back loans. Kids are expensive, weddings are expensive, insurance, mortgage, you name it, everything costs money. So you have to do both. And so I started plugging in and thought, what do we have to lose? Watch my little check go from $100 in my first check, and it slowly went from a 3-digit check to a 4-digit check to a 5-digit check to a really big 5-digit check. And why don't you just go and tell? No, I'll tell when I'm not on video. It's shocking. Actually, sometimes I hold back what I say because it actually sounds too good to be true. And because I'm a skeptic, I'm aware that it's like, okay, what's you smoking? It just sounds too good to be true. But it isn't, because I'm not the only one. There's people, I'm chasing all these other people on our team. It's happening everywhere with people who are doing. It's happening beneath me on people on my team. There's people below me who are doing faster than I ever thought of doing. And that is incredible that that's the opportunity we have. Yeah, that's one of them. And so I now have a free luxury vehicle. We've been on multiple trips, courtesy of Rodan Fields, multiple other things. The gifts go on, and honestly, I didn't do it for the gifts, but they sure are nice. I did it for the paycheck. I was able to retire as a physician assistant, and that was life-changing because, to make a long story short, the department I worked in at the hospital, that is radiation oncology, is a department, it's like not having, no one could fathom that department would no longer exist at our hospital. But we got notice last November that it was merging with this other group, and we would no longer be St. John employees. So I worked a decade for that seniority, and I know that a decade is not a long time if you're my mom's age, but it is for me. That decade is a long time. And I built PTO, vacation, seniority, all kinds of stuff, and that was all going to be gone, over, just like that. And I remember getting the news, and they were like, "No, you don't have a job because they don't need a PA over there. They're not doing, everything was going to change." But down to the days that I was going to have, because eventually they said, "Well, you can go over there, but you're going to make less, your interest." Everything was worse, and I worked a long time there. And the days were going to change. And you guys, as moms, when someone tells you that your days are going to change, and I have my cousin who's watched my kids since they were 4 months old, those 2 days a week, and she can't work on the days they tell me they need to work on, that's heartbreaking. Because now as a mom, having someone else come in. So my point in saying all that, you can do the imagination in your head, is you can't put your family first when you have jobs. The job has to often go to families. And that's very hard. But I'll never forget sitting in my office when I got that news, and several people were crying because they know they're next on the chopping block. Lots of people lost their job. They didn't do all the same thing. They merged with another group, so they already had people. And I sat in my office and I had tears in my eyes because I said, "Thank you, Lord." I didn't know my plan B was going to need to be my plan E. And none of you know if your plan B is going to need to be your plan plan A because none of us know what's going to happen in the future. Nothing is secure, nothing. And so I thought, I don't need this place. I make 4 times what I make here now because I said yes to something and went with it and just tried it. God put it in my lap, and it was obviously for a reason. And so I literally looked at them and was like, peace out. No, I didn't say it to their face, peace out. But no, sorry. And that was freeing. That was freeing that I got to say, you know what? That's not going to be a fit for me. So I don't need you. Now, oftentimes when a second income is being taken from a home, it's a sacrifice and you make bad, hard decisions. I got to go home and I was like, okay, not only do I get to quit my job, I've actually got a pay raise from last month to this month equal to my entire monthly salary as a PA. I mean, that's the potential with this business. So it's like you're just going to keep going up. It was almost like I was losing money working there. Because the time I was there, I was losing from this. That's how incredible this opportunity is. And so anyway, so that's changed. So then as it keeps growing and you keep tapping into what it has to offer, you know, my husband has a family business that they're in that he loves most of it, but he would like to not have to be there all the time. And that's a reality for us this year, that if he wants to be there, he can, if he doesn't even have to. And to be able to have 2 people at home more often to raise children and go do this with wherever you want, how you want. Our phone is our business, and wherever we go, we're doing business. We're meeting people in business. That is free. So that's what our Daily Proof is about. This is about freedom and choices. And that's what we want. I was so grateful to get off that hamster wheel of life, even though I was working 2 days a week. And some people work full time. And I don't know how you do it actually. Because those 2 days a week, I was always behind trying to catch up. And I was never gone. I was gone that whole day trying to catch up, exhausted. And often I felt like, even though I was there with my kids those other 3 days, I was exhausted. And I couldn't just sit and play because I saw all the things that I had not gotten done, which I know is normal mom life, but it's like a crack. And so I've never looked back. I was so grateful that I got to retire, and that was just in February. And we're going to come up and talk about the products in a second. And if we didn't have products that worked, this is not possible, you guys. This business works because of this. These products are a vehicle for change for whatever it is. Everyone comes into this business needing something else. This is just our story. We're just 2 stories out of, you know, over 100,000 consultants. We all have different reasons. Some just want a discount. Some people want new shoes. Some people want to go on a vacation. Some people just want secret money. I don't know. Some people want to retire. Some people want to retire, and you can literally do whatever you want. And so without these products and the efficacy of our products and the vision of our doctors, none of this is possible. So Nancy's going to come up, and we're going to kind of run through each regimen quickly and just kind of explain how they work.
Yeah, so just before we get started, our products are all multi-med therapy. So what that means is they're the right ingredients and the right formulations in the right order. And that's how we get those clinically proven results, because no one ingredient or product is going to change your skin. So it's really when they are layered together that they work synergistically, which is what the word Natalie always uses, which I'm like trying to not butcher. But anyway, so that's why they work the way that they do. We're clinically proven. And then why we have 4 main regimens is because they address the 4 main skin concerns. And when the doctors were still in their private practice, people were coming in and like, all right, you got rid of my acne, what about my sensitive skin and my wrinkles and my sun damage? So that's why they created these products. And that's why you're going to see all of the regimens have these 4 steps. And one of them, like reverse, has the 5 steps just because step 3 has to be separated so it doesn't lose it. I'm just going to highlight Soothe really quick, specifically Soothe 2, because it repairs the lipid barrier. So a lot of times you have sensitive skin issues, you might be putting a cortisone cream on it or a lotion or something like that. And it's maybe helping a little bit, but it's not actually helping the skin repair itself, because your lipid barrier is your skin's natural protective layer. So like for me, my oldest son, Radcliffe, has struggled with really bad eczema since he was about 6 months old. And it was to the point where he was clawing his skin until it bled. And so we were doing everything imaginable to try to help him. Well, there really wasn't any answers for people like that. I mean, it just isn't. And so when we got the Soothe regimen, I just couldn't believe we saw results overnight. Did it get rid of it overnight? Absolutely not. It's a chronic skin condition. You cannot get rid of eczema. But after I was consistent in using this regimen, and it really did, at this point, we just maintenance with body lotion and Soothe 2 because it has completely gotten his eczema under control. And we're not the only ones. There's story after story. Psoriasis, what's the other one? Eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, all that, those kind of really chronic skin conditions are very difficult to retreat. awesome result. Other sensitive skin issues, a lot of times just environmental aggressors. Some people just are super sensitive to any horrible skin problems. I mean, she's had everything under the sun under her skin, sensitive skin, horrible acne. She tried this unblemished regimen. She was my guinea pig, and it transformed her skin, and she joined me in business. So it's pretty incredible to see that it on people too.
And all of our regimens, the step 4 is a sunscreen, and they're stamp of approval by the American Cancer Association and the American Dermatology Association for their efficacy and the way they work, which is really pretty cool. So the next one is reverse, which is like Nancy and I's lifesaver. It has made us foundation free and concealer free, and I'll be 37 next month. I don't know how that happened. And that is incredible because not having to cake on foundation or even put any liquid on my face, I use our mineral peptide powders because of this regimen. And I never had to step foot in a dermatologist. I just washed my face. I was already washing my face. And so that's what this is what this does. Dullness, uneven skin tone, marks, everything we've talked about. Dullness is actually the first sign of aging. It is not wrinkles. We all have dullness, especially going into our late 20s, early 30s, maybe even before. And if you aren't using it in our product, you're probably dull. What we also like to point out is the way our products are packaged. So what really got me as a medical person is the intelligence behind our brand. And I think that's why we actually have medical people joining us, because they see it instantly and go, oh, I'm going to do business. Because they know the products, they know the ingredients, they know the credibility, they know the intelligence behind it. You don't need to know medical stuff, you could just know the name. But I think that's why they join so quickly. They go, oh, yeah, this is going to work. Because not only do we package our products, so yes, these are more expensive than drugstore brands because you get what you pay for often. Not always, but often. So this has vitamin C and retinol in it. Well, vitamin C is a loner. It doesn't do well with other people and other ingredients in its products. It degrades it, it becomes inactive, doesn't work. So when you see products on the drugstore shelf or even at department stores that say vitamin C and retinol, well, it may be in that first pump, maybe, but after that, it's going to degrade as it sits on your counter rapidly. That's why they're separate, and you put them on right before. That's how we know they're active. So when we sell you something and say the percentage is this, that's what it is when it goes on your face. That's the same thing with the unblemished. It's in a 2-pump because oxygen also breaks down products. So if it's not packaged properly, it degrades the active ingredients. And if there's not an active ingredient in it, it isn't doing anything, no matter if it costs $5, $10, or $20, it's doing nothing to your skin. And so I also like to point out toner. I never realized toner was even important, but it actually corrects the pH balance of your skin. So all of our steps layer, like Nancy said, and if you don't layer them correctly, then they're not going to work. It's like baking a cake. If you leave out an egg, you ain't got a cake. I love baking better than cooking, so it's just like baking. It's a step process, and some things have to be done in order, and that is exactly the way this is. That is why I get asked this all the time. Well, I don't understand why I can get your product, and you're saying it could be equal results, sometimes better than the dermatologist. I'm like, well, the reason that can happen, even though they have higher percentages in some of their ingredients, oftentimes they're giving you one product. One product will never change your skin. No single ingredient can change your face, no matter how high the percentage. But we're taking those percentages and putting them right under prescription strength. But because we're layering them, just like Nancy said, to work synergistically together, that's how we can get this amazing result. Our products are great alone, but they're powerful together. And that's why they work. And so that's reverse. And so that when it corrects your pH balance, it actually allows the skin treatment to absorb. If your pH balance isn't correct, you're just putting it on there, but it isn't actually doing what it's supposed to do, which is another waste of money. So everyone wants to get to redefine, which is the big kahuna. You're never too young to prevent wrinkles, and you're never too old to reverse wrinkles. My mom is 60, and her face is like, my dad told her, and you knew my dad, because he just doesn't recognize these kind of things and doesn't really care about them. He told her, you have a new head. It's like a really big compliment. My mom was like, okay, thank you. But she's foundation free, she's concealer free, never stepped foot in a dermatologist, never had one needle near her face. She's had a mole removed. That's it. And so that's incredible. Not only that, which we'll get to in a minute, but I gotta make sure now because I'm talking about it. So we're all foundation free and all no concealer, all different ages, okay? But not only that, she had genetic eye droop. I don't know the name of it, but this genetic for their family. And she was afraid to have the eye surgery, but she was also waiting till it got so bad because the insurance won't pay for it unless your vision is impaired. So she's seeing shadows at this point, so we're getting close, right? And so she hated it, but she was also afraid of the eye surgery. They bought your eye, that is it. So she was afraid of it. So she didn't really tell us in the beginning, but she thought, I'm gonna take that roller and I'm gonna start rolling my eyes. And I actually thought when I heard it, I was like, Mom, I don't think you're supposed to be doing this. I don't care, it can't be worse than surgery. So she's rolling, and you can't actually roll on this eye bone. She might have went a little lower, but either way, using that in our eye cream, her eyelids are 60% lifted, no joke. I would never believe it unless it was my mom. She doesn't need surgery, and her eyes are lifted. Does she look 20? No. But you don't want to look 20 when you're 60. It's abnormal. You're not going to look right. For herself, we all want to be our best looking self, and that's what Redefine does. And so it's for pores, skin texture, wrinkles, and so that will take you right into using this roller. And of course, they're all 4 products. So this roller is a must-have. People want this roller for their whole body. They want a big one because it does multiple things. A, it tricks your skin into thinking you need to repair and build collagen. Collagen fills in wrinkles, acne scars, it tightens skin, it upregulates the healthy genes that we quit making even as we get into at 30 years old. We're declining. It's just sad. And so this is going to trick your body into thinking it needs to go back to like being 20. And so it also gets rid of turkey neck. I mean, people are tightening their stomach after babies with this. So not only does it trick your body into making the collagen it needs to repair, it also creates micro channels in your skin. So if like if you had a pan of brownies and you wanted caramel to get to the very bottom, you would poke holes in the brownies and then pour the caramel on top and it seeps into all layers. So we want these products to go into all layers of the skin. There's 7 layers, top layer's all dead. We want to get off the top layer and allow the products to go in deeper. That's why clinical studies independent of us have shown that using our tool with our regimens increase the efficacy by 50%. So it's like a waste of money to not use this roller. This thing is incredible. And so I think Ellen called it the best minute spent in aging, is that little roller. And we pair it with our night renewing serum, and once again, you'll notice our things are packaged differently. That's because there's patented proprietary blend of anti-aging peptides and proteins in here along with retinol. And when it hits the air, they degrade. Well, this isn't going to hit the air, this is going to go into effect right when you open it.
Yeah, I was just gonna go over acute care real quick. We do have our eye cream up here that my mom used.
It's called eye crack.
This is our eye crack, yeah, that's what we say. But this is what we just launched, our most recent product we launched. What it is, it's actually a patch. It's a wrinkle filler, so it's still a wrinkle while you sleep. And what it is it's an alternative to fillers if I can get it open. But not an alternative to Botox. So Botox is a paralytic agent, but this is actually a filler. There we go. And what it is it's made of hyaluronic acid, which is naturally occurring on your skin, and it holds 1,000 times its weight in water. And it's also got our patented peptide in it. So you actually secure the perimeter of the adhesive and then press gently on the cones, and it goes to work and fills your wrinkle while you sleep. So the idea with this is A, you get to do it in your own bathroom, no needles either, right? But also that you would use it every 3rd night for a month, and then those results would last an additional 8 to 12 weeks. They last longer if you're using either our Redefine regimen or a Burst regimen along with it. And the other cool thing about this is that, we love science and, all of this. We're setting trends. Nobody else has this. It's ours for a decade. It's proprietary to us. And this is what our doctors do. They set trends. They don't follow them. People are following us. And so the other thing is we can tell within one use if you're an acute care responder, 23% accuracy. So we actually have these in samples now so that you can try it, see if you're an acute care responder. And usually most people are, but some people aren't. And then you can go ahead and buy a box of them if you are a responder. And of course, we have a 60-day money-back guarantee, so if you buy a box and you're not, you can totally just send it back. But that's pretty cool. And yeah, so it's a really innovative product that we're pretty excited about. I think that's. Oh yeah. Oh, I was just going to say the ways that you become a part of Rodan. So we have an awesome preferred customer program. I know some of you already prefer customers. That's how I started. It's 10% off and free shipping. We also let you have access to our product specialists, as well as to special promotions that are just for our preferred customers. It also allows you to be in our replenishment program, which is an awesome program that ships the products right to your door, and they check in on you every 60 days to see if you need anything. It is not an auto ship. You do not have to get product. It's completely customizable. So you literally get an email from corporate or from your lovely consultant, and they just say, hey, do you need anything? What can I get you? You can get individual products. You do not have to replace full regimens at a time or anything like that. It's literally customizable. So that's pretty cool. And then the other option is our consultant option, which obviously we think is the best option, biggest discount. And so we have a couple of options when you become a consultant that are product kits. And I'm just going to highlight the two larger kits because I think they're the best kits. I gave a blemish to my sister-in-law who joined me in business. So we all know people that might be great at this business, that you might want to let try the products, or that you just want to help. And also, if you have a launch event or something like that, people like to touch and smell and try the products in person. So that's always great. So I always tell people, if you're thinking about becoming a consultant, get the biggest kit that you can and take advantage of that discount because you're not going to get it again. So that's kind of the ways you can be a part of Rodan and Fields. And now I'm just going to say a few words and we'll be done.
And to know, we did earn our investment back in 8 weeks. People wonder, how will you earn that? Well, if you just follow, and some people it's 12 weeks, but what business can you earn back that fast? You can't. So it's awesome how they pay. So just to close with a few things is I want you guys to understand a couple things. One is access. So oftentimes when you're joining a company, you think, oh, well, is it going to go away or anything like that? So our doctors created this company because there's only one dermatologist for every 30,000 people. And being in the medical field, this is getting worse. Less and less doctors are going to medical school. Is it a good thing? No, it's good for us. We're consultants, but it's not actually a good thing, but it is the way it's happening. That's why being a PA, my profession is actually the fastest growing in the medical industry because less and less doctors are going to medical. Why? It's not worth it as much anymore. The hassle, the red tape, the way that medicine is moving, it's just not as worth it anymore. We're seeing it already happening. So access to doctors, the wait time is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you have a wait list to see a dermatologist or whoever's going to fix your wrinkles, you're going to be sitting next to an RN consultant. I'm going to be like, oh, I have a fix for you. And so what I have found in this business that really made me know we had stumbled upon something crazy is that as Rodan and Fields consultants, we will be more needed tomorrow than we are today. That's huge. We also have about 150,000 consultants, which isn't enough to even saturate the state of Texas, and only 40% of those are even earning a paycheck. So most people aren't even doing it. So what I'm going to tell you guys is Avon has 6 million people. We're in 2 countries. We are going to march across the globe, just like Proactive, to well over 100 countries. We're in 2. So a long way to go. And so I also want to just close with just 2 things, and I'll get talking. One is that oftentimes people think, okay, well, maybe that's good for you. That's the hardest thing it is for me to hear. People always think, well, that's good for you. I could never do that. And I'm like, yeah, you can. I know someone on my team who's just like you. And what I want you to understand is we are not special people. We're just someone who went out on a limb and said yes to something. And we are just willing to take advantage and just to see what happens. But we aren't special. I didn't know what I was doing when I started. And I just want, to close with, we are going to be selling these products every single day, every minute, all across the globe. It is going to happen. Your network is going to buy from someone and they're going to join some of your business. Why not be from you? And what I challenge you is, if you're thinking about this and there's something in the back of your head that says try it, don't overcomplicate it, don't overthink it. Do your research and just try. You will never know until you try. And everything I thought about this industry that I didn't like, that I ran from, we have completely transformed that into something, we're making this cool again. I mean, this is like
Just
new
cool
thing.
ever. Yeah.
Just cool ever, yeah, whatever it is. So anyway, that's all we have. If you guys have questions or want to know any more, we love questions. That's it.
Yeah.